Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Investing War Room. Today we're going to go over media and how you can use online presence of media to increase your lead flow of your long-term rentals. Once again, this is Top Producer Investment Capital. We do multifamily syndications here in Texas. For the most part, we have long-term renters. We have one short-term rental community, but I've done a fair amount of background in video editing, photography, graphic design. And so it's a bit of a passion of mine. And so when you can see a good online presence, to me, that makes the difference between an apartment complex that has a steady flow of leads coming in and higher quality leads versus an apartment complex that it's hard to even know if it exists. You're probably only getting people that are driving by looking for properties that, they can kind of fill out a form right then and there. And most of the time, those people might not have good credit scores, or this might be the only way they know how to interact with, finding an apartment complex. Typically, somebody who is going on the internet and finding you through online services is going to be a better resident in the long run. So I'll jump in and I'll start sharing my screen. I pulled up a couple examples of, what I consider good online presence, and then what I also consider a lot of room to improve, we'll say. So anyways, let me just jump in and share my screen here. Okay, so I pick on Denton, Texas, a little bit just because it's a smaller town in North Texas, and there are apartment complexes here, but at least when I was looking out here, there's some nice ones, but they have a higher percentage of people that could use an upgrade to their media performance. It's just kind of the smaller town in general, the more likely you are to find this. But Denton is just one that I was looking at recently, and so let's kind of go through. Now I've pulled up the Lux Apartments. If you go through on Google, at least this is what I would do if I was looking for a place to live. Google is a way to do it. You can also go on Zillow, apartments.com, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. There's a lot of places that you can go and search. I just think that Google is a way that if you get good SEO here, you get good presence here, these are leads that are going to be higher quality because everybody kind of knows about Zillow and apartments.com. But if they come through this source, this is great. So here's the Lux right now. Typically what you'll see, like let's click on Fry Street Apartments. You can see, well, that's not even a good one. All of these just have, I'm looking right now, they've got the 360 Google Street View instead of actual photos. So I'm wondering if there's like some user error that I'm not doing. Okay, well, typically what I'll see is that they will have more photos than just this. They will have a lot of photos going on with it. Maybe if I scooch out and do this like the Village. Yeah, here's what we'll typically see, 153, photos there. So let me go back to the Lux. Let me find where that one was. Okay, here, the Lux Apartments. Not to pick on them. I don't know who this is or anything, but we're going to pick on them today. Okay, so they only have one photo. I mean, it's not even a photo. It's just Google gives you the default street view. So, not a whole lot to see here. Although looks like they've done some nice work on the exterior with their siding. So they've got good properties to show off. They do have a website. I would say I see a lot of apartment complexes without a website. If you're just listing a house or a fourplex, you don't need a website. But if you've got, I'd say 20 units or more, it's time to get a website. So first thing I see, you want this image to be like the main highlight, the feature thing that makes your apartment unique and differentiating. So I always put our best image. That could be like a pool, that could be like a really pretty kitchen. If you've got some unique aspect like a restaurant or a bar, I mean, that's going to be an A-class properties. But whatever the best thing about your property is, put that as like the entire background for this thing. Nobody really cares. They know that this menu's up here. We could make that a little bit smaller. All of this info is like, it's kind of too much to take on at once. People want to see pretty pictures. And then after they scroll down, then they want to read the text. This isn't even their apartment complex. It looks like a stock photo. It's all pixelated. About us, nobody really cares about what the apartment stands for. It's a place to live. It's good to put in your contact info. You can put a little about us section there. All of this is like a lot of text. It is good that they have somebody's like referral or some like good quotes here. If there's a way that they could include a photo or a video or something to go alongside this, that would go a long way. Something with more color It's kind of hard to read the white with this background. If they put a little box around it, that would help. If they put like yellow quote marks and then white text, that would let us know it's definitely a quote. Just some ideas to kind of help make this a little bit better. So when I go to this website, I don't even know what this place looks like, which is the main thing when you look at an apartment. You want to know what it looks like. So we can click this little view apartments. Here we go. I guess this is a management company, so they have a few, which I get that managers do that. But if I'm looking for a place to live, I don't care about the other properties that they manage. I want to see this one building. Okay, so let's click here. Start off with your best photo first. If that's the best one they've got, I think this one's a better photo. I would go with this one instead of that first one that they got, or even that one. So yeah, I would say go with your better photos first. Okay. So, all right. So that's kind of what I would say is like, they do have a video. I am impressed. They've got a video section. So we'll kind of see this. Intro, that actually looks nice. But I would start with like the best image first, like hit the audience with the best image first. So this is I'm sure it's a property manager, somebody, nobody, it doesn't matter who this person is. We just want to see the apartment. So show us the pretty pictures of the apartments, put a little text about maybe some upgrades on the screen that you've done. Nice music is kind of good. You could either walk through the apartment or you could just kind of do a slideshow of different photos. A 3D Matterport is really good. If you're doing a video, it's good if the camera can kind of pan from left to right, top to bottom a little bit as you're going. So that's good. They're showcasing this the best that they can. If they did a wide angle lens, it would look bigger. So I'd recommend doing wide angle lenses for pretty much every property, unless you're a luxury property and you already are big. They didn't do any like color correction. I know that kind of gets advanced, but if you do color correction, that really helps. Having the main light on, can be a little bright, and having just other softer lights around helps it light the scene a little better. So like the first thing she said, "Hey, walk into the building with me. Take a look at this ceiling fan," which like, ceiling fans are like one piece of an apartment, but like to start off with that, I'd say let's start off with the thing that people care about, like the kitchens, the bathrooms, the common areas, the amenities, and then and the ceiling fans are like nice, but you can mention that along with all the other amenities, like, hey, we've got brushed nickel finishes on the ceiling fan, doorknobs, oven range, window blinds, whatever. So I would hope the default is it comes with its own HVAC unit. It's got a wall unit or a window unit. That's a downgrade. You don't even want to mention that. This should just be the unspoken default. And then the other thing is too, right now, this is a sales pitch. So you're trying to sell the prospective resident on why they should live here. With typical sales, you want to sell everything about the dream, what life's going to be like being here, how amazing things will be. The last thing that you talk about is the dollars, because like, unless somebody is super cheap, they're going to want to have a good experience first, and then they're going to say the price is like the afterthought, to be like, okay, show me the value first, and what does the value cost, and then they make sure that's alignment. If you start with a high price, it's a lot harder to build up enough value to hit that price, especially if you're talking about like fees, not even the rent, but like the fees. And I'm sure I know the reason she's doing it. Like once you get into ownership of rental units, like you are very aware of your profit and loss. You're very aware of the additional fees that you charge. And I'm sure it's a common complaint that this person has probably received, that why are you guys charging these fees? And so she's probably doing this video as a disclaimer to say, hey, I'm being upfront, being transparent about the fees that we charge. But at this point in the sales pitch, you're just trying to attract somebody new. The time to be transparent is after you've sold the dream of what it's like living here and made it look really nice, and then you come in afterwards and say, okay, well, the price is $700 a month for rent or whatever that number is, and then real quick, here are the other fees. We're being transparent. We're telling you what they are. It's not a surprise, but like, We don't want to focus on that. If you're selling this, I guess the reason I'm saying is that it's very easy when you're in an operations mode to be operations first, when really like this part of the process is a sales experience. You want the resident to come into this and be wowed. So, anyways, the rest of the video is her just kind of talking. It could do just as well showing off the property with images and video. We don't need somebody talking. Even just text on screen would do it okay. Okay. Pay rent, very important. You got to have that on there. Every website has one of these. If you're not paying rent, they're going to let you know. So don't you worry about that. Okay, so I'll show our property next. This is Harmony Village in Gonzales. This is what I was saying. Okay, Gonzales, Texas apartments. So when you come over here, if you're on Google, there's a few. You can kind of look like My Town Cottages. They've got a few photos. Gonzales Housing, they've got this one here. You can kind of tell what it is. Independence Homes, no photos. The Oaks, these guys have a few photos. So I'll go to ours next. This is ours, Harmony Village over there. Now, to be fair, I didn't realize that there were only 2 photos until I started this stream. So, but granted, they are, well, we've got a little, oh, never mind. We have 2 photos, but they're good photos. They showcase the coolness of the outside of the apartment and the sign. I am definitely going to upload some more photos. I could have sworn I had a lot. Maybe they got removed at some point, but you want like as many photos on here as you can. Okay, so let's go to our website. Again, you don't need a website unless you've got like at least 20 units. But, when we're in here, here's what we want to show. Like, this is the property, like, bam, you're hit with the size, the scale. There's the sign. Here's our common area amenities that you're going to get to use. You're going to be able to grill your own burgers, cook your hot dogs out there in the summer. If you've watched 5 seconds of this video and you're like, dang, I want to live here, here's the number to call. Here's the lease now button. Straightforward, direct. These are the only things people care about. What does it look like? How much it costs? And answer any questions like, can I bring my pets? Or like, can I move in 2 months from now? Or whatever people want to ask. And then we've got some other things on here for amenities. They've got these little flippy things on here. They're okay. We put this lease now button here because we want everyone to be very aware that that is our only call to action. If you want to lease, click that button. If you want any other info, call us here, contact us here. Here's more photos. This is the inside. You can go to amenities up here. We just list them. You can kind of see what they are. We talk about them. If you want to see all the photos, right, go to the gallery. Here's all of the photos. We get to the interiors, nice renovations. Again, this is workforce housing, C-class apartments, but you can make it look nice with good photos. Okay. And then, resident services, if they want to go pay rent, is over here. We do have floor plans on here. The one thing that I wish, and I have a little video. So this is us just kind of walking through. Again, I don't need to tell you guys what it is because this is all you want to see is just what does it look like. Now, the one thing I will say, I put these old text down here is it helps a little bit. The one thing I would say, if I was being picky, I really appreciate as a resident if they put the rent on here. Rent can change quite a bit, especially with these. We've got 32 units in here. Some are upstairs, some are downstairs. Sometimes we do leasing specials. Sometimes, we're raising the rent, another $25 in the spring. So I'd have to update. So it's a lot to update. So if you can have the price on here, it's so much better because I'll tell you what happens 9 times out of 10. Somebody's at their house at midnight. They call this number. Of course, no one's going to answer at midnight. They just want to know how much it costs, which is why Zillow is nice. If you go over to Zillow, we do Gonzales, Texas. Again, I do it this way because this is how a resident is going to find you. Actually, I don't think we're on Zillow anymore because they were going to charge us money. So yeah, if you're on Zillow, they were going to charge us $150 a month to be on Zillow. So we just kind of elected to not do it on this one. So this is a bad example for Zillow, I guess. But anyways, yeah, I would say if you can put the rent on here, or let's just look at one of these other ones. Yeah. I mean, this one you can see that's intense, that first photo. This looks okay. They're a little pixelated. It looks like a cool space though, but yeah, it's got the rent right there, which is great. That's the best thing to do. Okay, but anyways, what I was saying, as far as media, advertising, photos, videos like this is the best thing you can do. I want to say I paid about $1,000 to get this video done. Costs a little bit of money, but again, I mean, if we get somebody with a 700 credit score to apply instead of 550, you know, that's a nice, feather in our cap. If we were able to raise the rent an extra, what would we have to raise it, like $80 a month on one unit, and then it'll pay for the entire video. So across all 32, we don't have to raise it. What is that? $3 a month. So if this video helps us on average get $3 a month more of rent, it's paid for itself in 1 year, and then every year after that, it's a bonus. Plus, if you ever go to sell the property and they see you've got a nice video, they're going to think it's a higher quality property. So it'll raise your final sales price at some point. Okay. So that's kind of this video. That's what I want to show is like, you know, and in this video, I paid 1,000, but you'll notice what's good about it. Obviously, drone footage is really cool. Little speed up, slow down is pretty cool. We're going, the camera's always moving, it's zooming in, it's tilting up and down, it's panning left to right, it's kind of dollying around. It looks like there's motion. If it's just a static image or a slideshow, I mean, that's better than nothing, but when you have movement, it conveys life, vitality. And so it looks like the apartment's alive. It's a fun place to live. There's stuff going on here, even though there's not anybody in the photos. Just the moving around is what really sells it. But you got to do it real slow. If you're like not smooth, if you're jerking it around, or if you're going, like lots of different directions, like left, right, up, that's going to kind of like make people a little unsure of what's going on. But when it's like real slow, one direction, cuts slow, another direction, that really conveys, what you want to get people to like your property. Okay. So now I want to show this. This is actually where I used to live. This is a great property. I love all the marketing that they've done, and it's a B-class apartment. It was built in 1980, so it's not the best property, but it's in Austin. If you go in, I mean, the first thing you see, nice building, looks pretty clean. They've got a really good looking pool. They've got these deck chairs out there. I mean, bathroom's done really nice. All these photos are furnished and staged and, professionally taken. They've got a nice, it's kind of dusk out. They've got the lights, they got the pool. Obviously, this is a great property. Not everybody's house or apartment complex is going to have these amenities. If you do show them off, this is just an example of what looks really good. They've got a great presence on Google. And then if we go to their website, same thing again. I mean, they've got the stuff up here. They've got their little logo, but, hey, let's kind of take you on a tour of like, hey, here's some of our best features. It's like, yeah, look at this leasing office, a little fountain, a touch of something nice. The camera is moving. This camera is moving a little quick, but they got a lot to show. It's okay. They got a workout room. They've got a pool. I think in this one, I don't know if they show any of the interiors, but like, for a website overview video, this is great. It shows you, even if it just shows the exterior, because you get what it's all about, and their interiors are not their highlight. But down, you scroll down, the first photo is, hey, here's an interior. Look at this furnished one. Look how nice it is. It's staged. There's text on here. I mean, they could even like, this is pretty short, but it gets a point across. Explore now, like basically lease now. You click this button, it'll tell you, here's the rent, here's the availability. If you want to cut to the chase, get that call to action right in the middle, right on the edge, applicant log, wherever you want to do it. So yeah, they've got this little like special promotion they run at the top. And then, so all of this text, people love putting all this text on here. I think it's okay because they had this nice video up here to kind of say, somebody might want to stop and read this a little bit. It doesn't really matter what's on here. You don't want to say anything bad, obviously, but like, this is all, we all just know this is filler. This is good. They list their amenities. So I like when people are not putting fluff. So it's like Google Fiber, smart thermostats, stainless steel appliances, not saying like, hey, we've put love and care and touch into each apartment to give it a unique vibe. And it's a, spacious home in the greatest city of Austin and Texas or like whatever. Yeah, that could apply to any apartment complex. So I like that they put the actual upgrades they've got in there. More good photos here. If you want to see their floor plans, they've even got a digital brochure. I haven't seen this. That's cool. Nice. Looks good. Okay. Photo gallery. Super important. You can kind of click through all of these so you can see the interior, so you know exactly what you're getting into. So if somebody wanted to call and like get a tour, they know everything that they're getting into. They've already seen the outside, they've seen the inside, they can imagine themselves live in there. They've already know the price. At the point that somebody has seen this and calls you, they just want to make sure there's not something like that's going to scare them away once they get there. Or maybe they want to envision like how big the space really is versus just in photographs, which makes sense. But basically, if they know what your rent is and they've seen your photos, the sale is yours to lose once somebody shows up. Like it's a very high chance that they're going to rent from you, and it also weeds out a lot of people if like you know they already don't like this kitchen or this layout. You know, they won't waste your time. Or if your price is too high, they won't waste your time. So I like all that. Neighborhood, this is nice. They kind of show like, on here. I want to say if they had like just a list of some stuff that's around to do is good, like food, restaurants, activities, parks. I mean, Google is great. But yeah, they've got the broken spoke. This is just more Google than them themselves. But you don't necessarily need to do this. This is really cool. It looks like an advanced feature, but even if you just list out like the top 10 things to do nearby, that'd be great. Preferred employers. If you can have connections with other employers and give discounts to your residents, that's all good. So, all right. So, that's what I wanted to go over today is just, hey, here's some quick tips on how to improve your media and your marketing and your online presence. If you are doing long-term residential rentals, this can also, go hand in hand if you're doing short-term rentals or other types of advertising. But just a couple key takeaways, because the properties that we buy, I know that they're probably a good buy because they're not marketed well, they're not advertised well, so they're probably not getting the best rents, they're not getting good leads, their income is not as high as it could be. So to me, I get excited when I see bad marketing because I say, oh, that's an easy thing to fix. You don't even need to renovate. You can go out there with a professional videographer, photographer, spend $1,000, really highlight the existing features, even without spending $1 on upgrades and renovations. And you'll get quite a bit of increased traffic and be able to raise your rents from that alone. So best tip that I can give for anybody looking to get into real estate, make sure your online marketing is great and everything else will get a little bit easier. So thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for joining the War Room. I do want to have a guest on here next time to do a little bit more of an interview, a little back and forth, kind of tell the story about what it's like doing these real estate syndications on and off. So just kind of stay tuned with that. I want to make this a regular thing. Right now, Wednesday evenings at 6 p.m. Central Time, I'm going to make it consistent. So, if you want to join, plan to, Wednesdays at 6 p.m., hop on. This is live. If anybody's on that ever wants to comment, ask me a question, run their scenario by me. If you want me to look at your property and tell you ways that I would improve it, happy to kind of give any honest feedback that I can and in a way that can be helpful to anybody. I think that's the reason I think this live format is going to be a little bit better. If you listen to a podcast, you don't really get to interact with the host. But in this, right now we're on the smaller side. So you guys have the ability to, be direct with me here, ask me anything you want. And let's see if we can work together and get some deals done. All right. Well, good work, everyone. Enjoy your real estate, and we'll see you next Wednesday.